Before we begin, sponsor mentions, everybody. Cycle Systems Online. You know that now is the off season. There's no better time to take care of your bikes. That is right. Proper maintenance, upgrades, or even major repairs can be made by you at home. Thanks to Cycle Systems Online, a full mechanics education course for everything from changing a tire to changing and building your own wheels and everything in between, all at your own pace. Get to Packfiller and check out the link to Cycle Systems Online today. Next off, Gooder sunglasses, everybody. Now that we are indoors, you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, I don't need glasses. Well, if you're like me and you use massive fans to keep you cool on the trainer, grab some low-cost, non-slip, lightweight, clear lenses from Gooder today and keep your eyes from drying out like the wind column from Team Movistar. Use the link at Packfiller and enter the code Packfiller15 for your discount. Nobody got my Movistar drink joke? Is it not working, Jackson? Is it working? It better. You can say something. Is it not freaking working? I worked on that.
It will work. Just figured it out, you know.
I spent time on that thing this weekend, the live stream. Are we live to YouTube?
We will be.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
There's one.
Lastly, how about the folks at Athletic Brewing? If you tried any of the non-alcoholic beers out there, you know that the good ones are hard to find. Not with Athletic. A multitude of flavors, all so close to the real thing you will only notice when your head doesn't spin and your hips don't expand. Use the links at Packfiller to get to the flavor train. Let's do this. Is it working, Jackson? If it's not working, unplug the hard wire and just go old school.
There we go.
That looks live. God, it feels like I've been away for so long. It's been so nice not having
Nothing's
David
changed.
here.
Yeah.
There's been so many podcasts now that he hasn't been here.
He works so long
Yeah.
at the overnights and shit like that. It's just...
Then you had to go to Moab.
Yeah.
Poor soul.
This is great. I feel like my spirits are uplifted not having him here.
Really?
Yeah.
But you guys seem to attract yourselves to each other. You're like bad
yeah, it
pennies.
is one of those. I know. It's just one of those things. Like it's just can't get away from it. You know. It is a great time.
Is it parental-induced guilt or is it self-induced guilt that you're like, oh, I gotta go spend time with my brother? Or do you really like him and you're just full of shit?
No, I really enjoy my brother. My brother's great. It's just we hang out for like probably 30 minutes and then it's like something has got us rattled.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Brotherly love.
Well, the time change has happened, which means we've taken an hour from the afternoon and added it to the morning, kind of like making a blanket longer by cutting the top and sewing it onto the bottom. The stupidest effing tradition in the world is this time change bullshit. Yeah. By the way, I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. At least we were able to sleep an hour, though. Welcome to the Rim Break Bar. The glasses have been filled, so it must be time to play bikes. This is the Packfiller Cycling Podcast. I am Pat Bolger, and we are live on our YouTube channel, as well as the homepage at packfiller.com. Let's get to tonight's prologue question to see who's here. Tonight's question, gentlemen, what is your cell phone wallpaper right now, and why did you choose it? Cell phone wallpaper. First off, he's the guy you want to tell you what beer to drink, Mr. Paul Main, because he knows his shit. He's better at it than I am.
I don't want to tell you. I can give you suggestions.
He's the guy you want to tell you what beer to drink. Yeah, exactly. God, we ran through the theme that fast. All because you and your brother.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
Good.
What's on your phone wallpaper right now?
It is. It's the Wassum Turm. Turm. Yeah, that's right. It's the water tower of Nuremberg.
Whoa.
And I'll pull it out. It's pretty cool.
Ooh, Paul's pulling it out.
Yeah.
See, it just takes a little bit. You got to get on.
Yeah.
I said, yeah.
Oh, that's cool looking.
Yeah. So that's on the top of in Nuremberg. That's the where the castle is not really a castle, but sits up on a hill, and that's the water tower.
Do you take that shot?
No.
Okay.
I've taken many shots of that, but not that kind of covering.
So what the importance of that is?
That's my wife's hometown.
Okay.
And city where she was born, and we like to travel, and her family's there, and it's always a good time. And strangely enough, I've been waxing sentimental and watching YouTube channels of Nuremberg.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
there we go.
That's great.
Second, he's the guy you want to tell you what to wear, Mr. Jackson Bolger, because you're so young and hip and stylish
that's me,
and stuff like that. And you're still giving the online, the live feed frowny faces.
Well, I just like to, I like to play around. See what
are you adjusting the cameras?
No, I'm just seeing what's throwing shit at the wall, seeing what's sticking.
And is it live still?
Mhm.
You gotta keep me. I'm a control freak, and if it doesn't work,
I'm keeping you.
I will bury myself in this space for 48 hours, just going. Don't come in here.
No,
I'm
we're
working on the Wi-Fi. I
No,
will.
we're good. We're good.
All right. What's on your cell phone's home
So
screen?
I have two.
I have like 5. So yeah, it's gonna be a roulette here.
So the lock screen is one of my wedding pictures,
Oh.
and then my home screen is my wife herself.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. I mean, that's adorable. Give
What
it
can I
20
say?
years and you'll be just like, nah.
Yeah.
That is so sad.
You'll have a picture of a building that you grew up on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Not her.
The wedding photos are cool for like a year,
Yeah.
And then it's like after that, it's like you get other ones and you replace those.
Mm. Yeah.
What-
I mean, I'm loving it right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is the camera on me
Give it a
not
year.
working? Is that what's going on?
They're all working
Okay.
now.
Because that one was pulsing.
Mhm.
Well, my wife's been chiming in because she's watching. She
Yeah.
says it's freezing and then unfreezing. And
yeah,
then
we're
freezing.
getting it figured out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Fuck's sake.
I know.
I hate
Two.
this shit. I pay for this stuff.
Too.
I pay extra for this stuff to be able to do this live stream. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to call and yell at some poor receptionist.
That'll answer.
Hi, welcome to insert company name. Here, how can I help you? You assholes are screwing me over. I want to talk to a manager.
I'm glad you put jur on the man. I want to talk to a man.
Oh,
A
God,
jerk.
that's terrible.
Manager.
I didn't mean to emphasize it that way. Next, he's the guy you want to tell you what to tell other people to do.
Gotcha.
'Cause,
Yeah.
I see the theme.
Mr.
Yeah.
Sam Waples, how are you, man?
I'm good. Yeah, it's good to be back.
I love that. Should I pull back the curtain and say about 30 minutes ago, I got this random text that said, "How soon is it to come over and start drinking?"
I was just craving a beer.
I'll
and
give
then
you the door code,
I know.
and you guys just come in, and you just be
I
sitting
know.
there drinking. I'm like, "Oh, hi."
Hey. Yeah, I know. Then it didn't work out.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
I
I'm
figure if I-
I'm gonna be over here pre-partying.
There we
the
go.
Podcast.
I figure if I throw a couple bags of chips down here or something like that, and now
all
when we
I
have
need.
the urinal, you guys are self-sustained.
I'll live down
yeah,
here.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's on your home screen, Sam?
My dog.
Oh,
God, he's
you
the
got a good dog.
best.
You got a good dog.
Yeah. He's just
You
a
got really
homie.
good dog.
So-
He is.
And my wife's actually making that comment the other night. She's like, "Wow, you still have this photo. We have so many good photos of him." And it's like one from when he was like a year old, maybe. And I'm like, I just don't change these.
He's your puppy. You always see him as such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's perfect.
Yeah. Me, I'm the guy you want to tell you how much better you are than he is.
Rolled through that one, didn't it? Just rolled right off the tongue.
That's my inferiority complex coming through. I'm Pat Bulger, and my wallpaper actually, it's mustache Batman
That's
today,
great.
right now.
That's
it
good.
rotates through 5 different pictures, but right now it's Batman with a mustache.
That's awesome.
And he says, "Tell it to the wind, baby." I don't understand. I thought it was going to be one of the better ones, like one on my bike. I have one of my wife holding a cocktail that I made her. I don't know what else I have. I have like 5 or 6 that rotate through every hour. And strangely enough, usually around cocktail hour, it's the one of my wife holding a drink. We're in full maintenance mode. Would you guys agree this time of year? Is it just kind of like, hold on, don't screw up,
I'm
don't
making
get slower?
gains.
You are not.
My FTP is higher than it was in the spring.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to be guns a-blazing for next year. I'm taking heads next year. I'm telling you right now. Quote me.
What are you doing in particular?
I'm not doing anything big. I'm just doing your standard bass that has other intervals in it and all that. But
Probably
yeah.
introducing meat into your diet. That would
I
help.
haven't done that yet. But eat
Why
more,
am I
eat more
so
tofu,
swole?
getting those gains.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But yeah, no, I haven't really been doing too much crazy stuff. Just been trying to add in the typical trainer road that I do with some other, general strengthening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been good.
How many times a week?
Just 3. And
Yeah.
then sometimes I have been on more like 4 or 5, but those will always be shorter. Like the other ones are an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackson, you did an FTP test.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I
you
did.
Are you willing to share the results? You don't have to give specific numbers because I know that's like telling everybody your income
It's
and
500
penis
watts,
length.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The
You're such an animal.
FTP, no, I am one of the, I'm one of those people that's happy to say that my FTP actually went down.
Did
It's
it?
okay.
Yeah, because other numbers went up. So, as Wahoo puts it, there are 4 different metrics that they take into consideration, and a couple of those numbers went up. The 5-second power has gone up pretty considerably, and the 5-minute power, which I thought was super weird.
That's my worst one.
I thought the 5-minute power going up, but the FTP going down was a little bit odd.
Yeah.
But those 2 went up, and then my 1 minute and 20 minute went down very minimally, but
Like 10, 20 number.
like 4.
Oh, good God.
So-
That's not a difference.
Yeah, no. So it's kind of what I already knew. But it's it's fun just to kind of see what's happening, tell me what I already knew. But I'm also excited to tailor my training to the actual numbers that I am currently, and continue to just kind of specifically work on the things that I excel at. So yeah.
That's where I think I am too, because I've done a couple of the workouts and it was harder than it should have been, and I'm like, I gotta lower the numbers. This is too enough, because I think I did it last time was in like March, and so that was not good. So yeah. Paul, you've been doing a bunch of stuff too.
Not a bunch. I had just like on systems, I have that program laid out, and I've missed quite a few, just odds and ends in life that get in the way. But today I did that mini blender. Have you guys done that?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
But the one that I like best is I can't remember. She's Australian, and you're in Tasmania around the Golden Coast, the Gold Coast, and she's riding in these hills that just like you get like a 30-second. You got to power up, and to me that's more realistic than doing a 20-second effort, 40 seconds off, 20.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it'll help you,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Yeah.
they keep my interest, something that's a little more realistic, like a road that's going to force you to whatever your recover time.
Do you do the rides with the Wahooligans kind of thing, like where you follow them on specific?
That was
routes?
one of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
okay.
was one of them, and they just throw it in my program. So
Yeah, it's cool.
it's pretty cool.
The algorithm just kind of picks stuff for you, which is kind of fun.
At first, I thought it was going to be cheesy because I don't want to follow somebody on it,
Yeah.
but actually, it was a good workout and it was
Really?
enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah, I do some of those where they go in like Spain, and I think he did Mallorca a couple of weeks ago, and it takes you on like different routes in that area, and those are really cool though.
Yeah.
All right, we don't need to talk about anybody else's training.
What?
yeah,
Come
hey, come on
on,
now.
fess up.
Mister, I'm all pissed
Fess
off.
up.
Yeah.
This is
I've been
big.
doing my core and cardio.
But you do have something going on life-wise.
Yes, you do.
so-
I haven't done shit
Yeah.
I tried on Sunday, and this is just. I sometimes refer to myself as Charlie Brown, because, for example, if we go to a concert, Michelle and I go to a concert, the asshole who stands up and goes "woo" the entire time sits in front of me. If we're on an airplane and you hear a screaming kid entering the plane, I can look at my wife and go, "Kid's gonna sit right next to me," and she's like, "No, it isn't. Kid sits right next to me." I'm not hypersensitive to this. This is just my lot in life. I am working on laughing at it. But I got to the point, this whole week was just garbage. The time change just made me
Cranky?
bleh. Oh, God. It's just, I'm thinking, hey, at least I got time in the morning now, a little sunshine in the morning. That's great. You know what? I get up in the morning, I work out and the blinds are closed, kind of a thing. And then I go to work, and then I work in a basement. So I'm not getting any sunshine anyway. So I would like it at the end of the day when I'm coming home. Gone. 4:30 in the afternoon, dark. You can't see your hand in front of your face. And so anyway, so this week I've just kind of like, and my work is insane right now. I direct theater productions, and I'm a week away from it opening. So it's just nonstop. And this Sunday, I'm like, you know what? this Zwift thing. I got Zwift back for 3 months. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to play around. And I signed up for a crit, right? So I'm like, I'm going to race. I'm going to keep it easy on myself. I'm going to race the C's in the crit, So maybe I can get like a top 5 or something like that. Just, help myself out. Give myself a little happy time. Warming up, go out for, riding on the platform for a while, and it says, hey, the event's open. Do you want to go over? And about 12 minutes before the event, I pop over, and I'm, your guy's standing there at the start line on a trainer, just spinning. And I'm boop, 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 boop. And I'm like, okay, switch the music. So I got some kind of good music in my head, pumping energy, rock music. And it's like 1 minute and 12 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom! My whole house goes dark. The whole house loses power with 1 minute left before the thing. And because my laptop is on a battery, everything's fine, and my heart rate is still reading, but the trainer's not plugged in anymore. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going, oh my God, I got to get this going. And I'm like, well, Pat, how the hell are you going to get this going? Your house has no power. And I just sat there at the start line and watched everybody ride away from me. And I was just like going, this is just so Charlie Brown, man. It is. It's so Charlie Brown. I just kind of got off the bike. Michelle was gone. She was walking the dogs or something like that. I just got off the bike, walked into the living room, sat on the couch, and just went,
Maybe I'll watch some TV.
Yeah.
Nope.
Just give me a beer. It was so pitiful.
Sit in the dark, drinking a beer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was going to get warm anyway.
Oh,
Better drink it before it spoils.
Yeah.
No, it's just that was my training week. It was just kind of meh the whole week, and so I think I'm gonna probably this week is gonna be meh. I'll probably have a little time, but I'm working on the sets and all that kind of stuff, and it's a lot of late hours, so I probably won't get anything really going until Thanksgiving again. That time.
Yeah.
And our Thanksgiving this year is like 4 people, so I'll have all the time in the world to do stuff.
And you get
5. It's 5 people.
How long is that break for you?
It's Thursday, Friday,
okay,
Saturday, Sunday. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. And so those 3 days I can get something started. But yeah, then the next play starts right after that.
When are we going to go to one of these plays?
Jackson goes to all of them.
I go to all of them.
Where's my invite?
I'm his son.
You're looking at the wrong. Yeah, you're welcome anytime. But yeah. So there we go. Any new discoveries on the racing and or training front in terms of your own lives? Are there any? For example, we had a race announcement this week, and did I mention I'm Charlie Brown? Did I mention the weekend the race is happening is the high school graduation I have to attend by contract, and I can't do the crit?
That
But I can do the road race
and the TT.
Yeah,
I'm not doing
rock
TT.
that shit.
That's not
it's a great TT.
But it's the same day as the road race. I need every match, right?
I don't know.
Especially if I can't go for the overall.
Well, I was of that mindset 2 years ago. This year, catting up and everything, I kind of feel like I have to do it all.
Yeah.
Really?
So yeah, yeah.
This is
Especially if I want that
our
Cat
River
2.
City Cycling Classic here in Spokane. It's jumped weekends pretty much since its inception, and this year it's the first weekend of June. And
is that what Walla Walla was? Is that right?
Oh, I didn't even think.
I think that they were slotting into Walla Walla.
Oh,
And it's crazy because that's the crit is the day before my wife's birthday. Like it's crazy how well that worked out.
it is
Yeah.
Walla Walla. You're right. Because
That's what I think that they were
remember
talking
that I
about.
could never go to Walla Walla because
Yeah.
the
So I
I
got
think that
distracted.
the whole point was that they were going to take over Walla Walla.
Oh, were they really?
I think so.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
shit. Jackson, you're
Man,
gonna
you
have to
threaded
announce
a
me.
needle there.
Yeah, I can do that for sure.
Yeah.
Somebody's got. Well, Sam, I guess you're gonna have to take over for mine. Well, no,
No,
we're
you
in the
guys are
same
in the
one.
same race.
Paul, you're gonna have to take over for ours.
Yeah.
That's going to be dry.
or yeah.
Back
these
in
guys
my
are going
day.
fast,
Yeah.
but in my day, we
Yeah.
were able to. We get you a rocking chair. You just sit back there with a headset mic,
Yeah.
just like going. Well, let me tell you, what it was like.
Whatever
back in
happened
the
to
day.
down tube shifters?
Yeah. Once upon a day, things were difficult. I'm heavily considering a multitude of races next year. I'd like to get some events that I haven't hit before. Especially this RC3 thing made me think about the fact that it's like going, there are races that I have never gone to, and it'd be really cool to kind of mix that in. I mean, I do want to do a big gravel fondo again. I did the one you did. What was the one you did last year? Ephrata. I've done that. I've done the Ellensburg one. I've obviously done Belgian Waffle. Not like they're in the same playing field, but I'd like to do one of those this year. I'd like to travel to some more races. Baker City, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to travel to something like that and be able to kind of see some other places instead of just sticking to kind of the same calendar every year. When I find those events, be it road, mountain, gravel, or whatever it is, when I pick one and sign up for it, it's automatically something that's like, okay, there's the carrot at the end of the chase. I got to get my ass ready for that. And so are you guys thinking anything new, or are you guys going to stick to the usual?
For me, it has to be, a certain weekend.
Yeah.
I've got, grandkids and my wife works and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's my balance. But, if it works out, then Baker City I've been trying to hit. I never look forward to the last day because it goes straight up a mountain.
Yeah.
Well, it's about 80 plus, maybe 100 miles. And the last portion of it is up the mountain. So.
Oh, no shit.
It's like, it's in the 90s.
Yeah.
Mile-wise. And temperatures can honestly be in the 90s as well
or
sometimes.
Really?
Piss down rain and hail.
Yeah.
Well, screw that. Anyway.
No, it's great. That's what you want. That's why we race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm actually looking at a totally different calendar because, and I want to support any of the local races.
Oh, yeah.
I'll at the very least sign up for them.
Make a donation.
But yeah, no, I am 100% going back to Ephrata. I'd like to maybe do some other of the Vicious Cycles ones, just with the new Steed. But then David and another friend are talking about High Cascade 100. So doing that.
Oh, is that gravel or mountain?
Mountain.
That's mountain.
Yeah, single track for 100 miles.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah, there's just, I don't know.
Paul just rolled his eyes so far they almost fell out of his face.
But the thing is I'm with you, Paul, in all regards. But I want events to go to. And like for me, I would never do enduro or anything like that. But it's cross-country mountain bike. It's honestly not that technical where that is. Like the riding is not technical. It's a road bike once you are...
Have you been on that course?
No.
Okay. I'm going to try and remind you about a race that we all went to, and we thought, we're going to blow them out of the water. Yeah. This will be easy.
It's not going to be easy.
Pat's racing
not going to be technical.
Pat's racing bees. What a pussy.
What's this fucking rock garden shit? Yeah.
Why am I going downhill?
I was told it was all up.
It was flat. No, I mean you're right with that. That was an ass whooping.
Yeah. It was a good one though.
That was an ass whooping I
fun.
want again next year.
Yeah. Oh, that's on the calendar.
That is on the calendar.
Yeah. Jackson, you got anything that you've been eyeing that's out of the normal, out of the usual?
I've been touting this for a couple of years. I think it'd be fun to go back to Portland and do some of those like late summer races that they have they have pretty much the entire summer. Yeah, I think it'd be fun if we all went, because I mean, I've done Portland for 4 years, so I don't need to do it by myself again. But I think if we all kind of like made our way over that way, if we were all available, I think that'd be kind of fun. Just experience a new place like we did Missoula. I think that was a lot of fun.
That was
so, something like that. But fill in that window between the end of our local crit series and then the beginning of Missoula. I think would be great. 1 or 2.
Like July. Let's be honest. Yeah. It's pretty much the whole month of July.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it doesn't have to be like every weekend. Just 1 or 2 here and there. Would be kind of fun. But I think something long distance gravel wise would probably be fun. And just not taken too much seriously within that. That little July window would be kind of ideal. Yeah.
We won't ask Paul. No, you got anything beyond? Like, you don't have to talk about different surfaces, but I mean, are there any events that you've been like, damn, I'd like to You did Masters
I don't know.
Nats,
Twilight.
which
Yeah.
was huge. You know.
Well, yeah, I showed up.
Hey,
I didn't
were
really
there.
do it. But I don't know. I have to see the calendar and see what works out with life schedule.
there's
Boise
always
Twilight.
What's that?
Boise Twilight.
I mean, if it worked out, but that's like 800 miles away.
It's
you
also
know, for
long.
one
Boise's
race.
not that far.
no,
It's like 6 hours.
no.
To Boise?
farther than that.
I think it's 8 hours.
Yeah,
So that's almost 800 miles. You think about it.
yeah. If you're driving 100
I
miles.
don't
Yeah.
believe any of you in this room.
Well,
I'm going to trust Google.
So, but Boise is a
Hey.
great little town.
hey Siri.
So it wouldn't be bad just to hang around
no,
the
not
next
hey
day.
Siri.
Yeah.
Alexa,
Yeah, get it straight.
how far is it from Spokane to Boise, Idaho? Driving.
6 hours and 45 minutes.
I see 7 hours and 2 minutes. Oh, that's not.
cities.com. Spokane and Boise are 6 hours 55 minutes far apart if you drive nonstop.
It's just 7
And
hours.
it says 365 miles.
So 7 hours.
Yeah, sure. Meet it in the middle. Which is why we should all go.
She said 6 hours and 55 minutes. That's 7 hours.
You guys said 8.
well,
I said 6.
That's if you stop and piss and eat
Who
something.
pees on the road?
I do.
How old are you?
What do? You just
54
tiny
years
tank?
old.
tiny tank.
Tiny
Yeah, if
tank.
David comes down, we'll be stopping all the
Yeah.
time. And then
You ever-
you'd need to
yes.
get
You ever heard
Skittles.
of the trucker bomb?
And then you would,
Yeah.
And
oh,
I'll,
this is a good time
Road
to get
trips-
Skittles.
Yeah, road
He's in the
trips
back
are
of the
a
car.
riot.
I gotta pee. Pee in the bottle. But you drive crazy, and the turns make me piddle my hands. These are doctor's instruments. Sorry, Jay, you got cut off.
I was going to say, and I'll choose the accommodation this time.
I trust that. Oh my god.
Well, in Portland, we can all camp because everybody in Portland
Same
camps
with
anyway,
Portland,
right?
Yeah, if anybody's good to take there,
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Yeah,
You know,
if you need to boost your EPO, there's a needle within like arm's
Yeah,
distance.
Jesus,
of
yeah,
it.
everything.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God, that was terrible. All right, let's get to some news, shall we? Let's headlines brought to us by our friends at POC Sports. Be sure and check out everything at POC and use the link at Packfiller. First story. What the froom?
Time out.
What?
That's your old.
It is. He's got a news bumper coming for me.
All right.
So I don't want to.
All right, okay.
Yeah. I've got. Oh, by the way, there's a fit bumper coming. Unfortunately,
Oh,
it's not here.
Shut up.
Do you guys
Wow.
want to hear the Dr. David's bumper?
Yes.
That's great.
He's James Bond.
No,
Pink
you hear
Panther.
that
He's more Pink Panther.
EKG in there.
Paul, you and I need a segment now just so we can get a bump.
Yeah, I know it. I want to.
Yeah, right? We got
What the hell?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna
Introduce
have a
the
fit
introducing.
segment.
Yeah.
The segment we introduced.
It's
Pretty
just-
soon, your
Well,
whole
we got
thing
a
will
new
just
theme
have
coming.
music going.
I got a
through
new
the whole-
theme coming. He's doing a whole new theme.
Wow.
And Lance at God, why can't
I have a section for Paul. Let's just do some like old man rant.
Yeah.
Old man rant of the week. Yeah, exactly.
Lance at Emotive Audio Agency is actually he told me, he says I'm taking my time on the new theme. So I'm like, all right. He's going in a whole new direction. So there we
That's
go.
awesome.
What the Froome? But Chris Froome raised a few eyebrows at the recent Saitama Criterium over the weekend that he's recently looked at his bike position and found some major problems. This is according to the Froomey himself. At first, I thought it was age starting to catch up with me, the 38-year-old said, but the four-time Tour de France winner said he compared the position on his Israel Premier Tech Team issue Factor Austro VAM to an old Pinarello from his Sky Ineos dentistry days and found that dentistry was a joke, and quote,
Insert laugh.
yeah, and quote, found that my reach so from saddle to handlebars was over 3 centimeters longer on the current bike. Saddle height, he added, was off by a similar amount. It's really a lot. We're not talking millimeters. So in today's pro cycling peloton, where minimal or, let's say marginal gains are measured constantly and the equipment always on the highest levels, how the holy hell is it that a rider's position could be over 3 centimeters off? That's over an inch. Chris Froome, is this guy full of shit? Is he trying for clicks, or is something wrong with the people in his inner circle?
That is shocking to me because, like,
Right?
I mean, also, like, you become such a, like, in my world, there's micro, macro fitters, right? Like, there's like, David. Oh my God, you could raise it 3 inches and he's gonna be like, it feels a little off. You know, it's like he's just a little off.
His ass is swaying back and forth.
He's like
he's
I
feels a little
crashed 3
different than
times
it.
in the crit, so I think my position's off.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, he changed that for that one race and he's like, it felt different.
yeah.
It's like, but then there's people like me that are neurotic to the degree, right? And anyone who makes it into that pro field,
Yeah.
I mean, you've ridden a bike so many miles, I can almost guarantee that you're like so focused on your fit. It seems unreal that he wasn't aware of that.
How does, like, even, I'm kind of directing towards him.
Yeah. No.
As a
that's it.
fitter, why wouldn't the team from Israel, Premier, why would they not take his old bike and
Take the
his
numbers from
measurements?
it
Yeah,
and
and
just
then
roll it
Chris
over.
and then you
has
work
the
that way.
bike. He
Yeah.
just said he has
why,
the bike.
Why
Yeah.
didn't they just go, okay, we'll look at him here and make our adjustments
Yeah.
slowly, as opposed to, okay, hop on, here we go,
Looks good.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe they did a fit for him and everything, but, like, God, that seems wild.
That's huge.
And like, he had a huge injury, so you think about that too, and it's like, okay, well, your body is going to change, but like 3 centimeters, that's an inch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. 1.18, I think
Yeah.
is what I found out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that's like one of those things where it's super hard to believe that you would not catch that. I mean, if mine was like a centimeter higher, I'm like, yeah, that feels weird.
Yeah.
You know? So it's,
How
I
long
have
has
a
he
hard
been
time.
with them? 3 years now?
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
now
And this-
realizing this.
yeah.
How hard did he hit his head?
Nothing seems to really add up. This
Yeah.
seems really bizarre. Not only that, he turned back into disc brakes are okay.
Yeah.
So he's dead
He's
to me
dead
anyway.
to
So.
me.
Well, I kind of think that this isn't really going to change much. Realistically, oh no, is 3 inches really going to... Is 3 inches really... Is it really
Finish
going to...
it.
Is it going to...
Finish
You
it.
can't do that either. Is it really going to change? Like, oh wow, he's back to his
Say
Tour de
the
France
whole
swimming
thing.
forward.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Is it going to change his performance? Yeah, but
3 centimeters, by the way.
yeah, is that? Oh, did I say
Centimeters,
inches?
you said
Oh,
inches.
is 3 centimeters really going to change his Tour de France performance? No.
No.
So I think that this guy is, like you mentioned before, kind of chasing a little bit of attention in
It's
his.
clickbait.
Yeah, it feels very much like his post peak fame attempt to get that back a
Yeah.
little bit, and it's sad because the guy's a legend, but now he's kind of like tarnishing that legendary status. I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Don't you guys, I mean, like, it's always hard from being an outsider because I obviously would never understand what it would be like to be even a somewhat good bike racer.
Yeah.
But,
or let alone a multiple Grand Tour champion.
right.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
one of those things like, God, I mean, like, after the big crash, like, kind of step away. You know, it's like,
Wow.
Because-
That's tough.
that's got to be
Yeah.
hard. But on that same note, like, it's almost like you're just that afterthought. And so then you start doing a lot of these things trying to get back up to the front. And it's like,
yeah.
Well, I guess there wasn't really much more for him to win. You know,
that's the
Like,
thing.
it's-
He's
he did-
accomplished so much.
Yeah,
well,
he
there
did
was
kinda
one
win.
more tour to equal 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he won every single tour, and he win them in the same calendar year.
Yeah.
At one
well,
point-
No,
not
he
same
did.
calendar year, but
within this
within a year.
Yeah,
Span.
within 365 days.
So
yeah,
really, it's like, what else can you do? So I do kind of also understand the whole like just bow out,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
call it good there. But you know, racers mentality. It's
Well,
it's
Is
hard
it,
to
is
step
it
away.
money?
Studies-
Is it money? Is it ego? Is it a combination of both?
There's just, I mean, I think it's once you're in that level for that long, the chemistry in your brain actually changes. And so it's harder to step away because you literally think that you can do any of that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you also have to take in a whole other mindset of I'm no longer, which he has done to be fair, fairly well. You have to take on a business person's mindset now. You're no longer a bike racer. You're now a brand ambassador, or you're or I guess he would probably be a tour ambassador, to be really honest about it. But he's no longer that. This is how I make my money every single year. I do the same thing all the time. It's a step away to becoming a whole new version of yourself. That's not easy.
And it doesn't work well for a lot of pro cyclists.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to be a downer, but Marco Pantani is the first person to pop into my head. I mean, I think Marco Pantani spent a good portion. I can't put thoughts. I don't know what he was thinking, but I think he spent a good portion of his days in retirement in extreme depression, because you spend a good portion of your life where everybody worships you, everybody's telling you the best thing to ever walk on the planet Earth. You retire, and that gets shut off like a valve.
That's crazy,
and that's got to be absolutely destroying.
Well, you see it not just in cycling; you see it in every sport. Everybody wants to come back.
Yeah.
They just miss it. I would say, as an older cyclist, the hard part.
You were right with oldest too, but in this room.
Yeah, I am an old cyclist. But the part to realize that I will never ever achieve anything that I did in my 20s and 30s. I just physically can't. But
that sucks to come
and it is, and I'll never forget this one ride. I was riding and I kind of got dropped, and this one guy who didn't know me, and he didn't need to know me, but he just said, "Hey, these are guys I used to train with, you know, but things are starting to fall off. These guys are really fast, so don't worry about it. It happens to everyone." And I'm like,
"Oh my God, I would have, I would have."
But
if it was in the days of having a pump, I would have bashed it over his head like a stray dog.
He didn't know, right? He was just trying to be nice. He's trying to encourage me. But the thing is I'm like,
"Don't talk down to me, you son of a
You peasant!
I was cycling when you were an inch in your daddy's pants.
That's just
You know what I've done? You don't know me.
I was something. I was something at one time. God dang it.
Oh, man.
Shut up and take your Pinarello and pedal back to Starbucks, bitch." Sorry, I'm on tonight. I'm really on. And it's the political ads too that have just been pissing me off. Every 5 minutes, like, "My opponent did this." Eat shit. I don't care what side of the
It's
political
over.
spectrum you're
The
on.
election is over.
Oh, no, it's not. We got 12 hours of it, and then the next one. In related news, let's all chime in on the rumors. I think Paul and I touched base on this. Rumors floating about roundabout Wout. His team has not released anything, but speculation has arisen from Gazzetta dello Sport, stating that he intends to not only ride the 2024 Giro, and I tried not to do that without laughing, but aim for a top 5 overall in a time trial heavy route. First of all, is Wout capable of a Grand Tour? Would this ruin him for the riding we all love him for? What other riders have done this to make it work? And how many have fallen flat? Your thoughts on Wout keeping everything perfect and becoming a Grand Tour contender at the same time?
There is no way to do both. He can't.
Tony Bagacar.
Sorry. Yeah, but
Something was in my throat there. Sorry about that.
yeah. I mean, I think those right there are two different riders. I think that Wout is, very much. Excuse me, gosh, is very much the Roulaire type. He is very much an all-arounder, but I think that when you reach a high mountain, I think that I don't like.
What?
I don't like that I'm at. All our mics are out. Or am I-
No, you're
Really?
not.
No,
your
your
headphones.
Yeah.
Your headphones.
Anyways,
But I do.
sorry.
Here, get over here.
Yeah.
Let's use
Mess
this together.
with your cable. I thought you were going to kiss him.
No, I
I was like, yeah.
I thought my
let's
mic
do
was
this.
out. Sorry. Sorry about that.
I might have bumped it here.
But I think that he's weight wise, I think, of a different level.
Yeah.
I think that good now. Sorry. I apologize again for trying to
Get,
kiss
No,
over
it
there.
was,
it was a-
here. Let's
it was a
share
moment.
this.
Yeah.
It was like two singers in a band. Where you're like,
I was ready. I was like, what are we going for here?
Well, like
what tone
first
do you need
with
me
the
to hit?
cameras, now with the mics, I'm ready to
It's like-
improvise wherever it goes
It's like
now.
Bruce Springsteen and Little Vaughn. It's like glory days.
Yeah,
Nobody understands what I'm talking about except Paul. Glory days. Sorry, Jay.
No, you're good. You're good. But I think, like I was saying, I think weight wise, I think that they are of two different makes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Tade has had that long term training for doing a little of both. I think that a Roubaix would be hard for Tade to win with the likes of Van der Poel or Wout or even Stefan Kung. I think those type of riders lend more to that type of flat riding rather than a punchy climb that Tade can eviscerate the entire field on.
Go.
Okay, I'm going to throw it back to the Dark Days because that's kind of my best reference in this type of a rider.
That's fine.
Jan Ulrich, right?
Oh!
Like he's not totally different than a Jan Ulrich in the sense of like a powerhouse and just like he's going to slowly grind away at this. So it's, I mean, do I think he can win overall? No. But I think he could be competitive, you know? But I do think it will take some from his classics.
Yeah.
Like,
You
so
know, it's funny that I did mention Tade. Tade won classics.
right.
He didn't win a Grand Tour.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You
So-
lose
But he
one
has
when you gain
won. He has won a monument and a Grand Tour in the year.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it can be done.
Yeah.
So for me on like Wout, so 10 kilometers or 10,000 meters, 10,000 meters less climbing in this Giro than last year.
Wow.
There's like 3-4 times more time trial. There's a lot of like through Tuscany, the way the route is, it doesn't go. I don't think it goes in the Dolomites. It's
Wow.
really kind of, if there was a Grand Tour for him to win, it'd be that one. Well, I don't know. He can obviously, I heard Geraint Thomas on his podcast talking about every day. He was just like, how is he doing this? He's getting in the front and destroying everybody.
Yeah.
He goes, well, he's not going to be anything in the third week. And he was, sure enough, he was even stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So he has that ability to recover. But I don't know. I still don't
He's
know.
in
But
the
it'd
peak.
certainly be interesting
Yeah.
to watch. It
Mhm.
would be really interesting.
I'd cheer for him.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I'm wondering when these guys are going to get to the day where this cyclocross World Championship level into the Spring Classics, into the Grand Tours. I mean, you can only do that. That's a narrow window of being able to accomplish that. The human body can't do that.
No.
And so something is going to fall. Something's going to not fall, but lessen.
I think that also if, say, Wout goes to the Giro and does not arrive at the Tour, I think that, mark my words right now, Jonas Vingegaard will not win that Tour. If
Really?
Wout van Aert does not show up, I don't think he wins the Tour, especially with the additions that UAE has done over the offseason.
Yeah.
I think because he's such a key element in that.
But he left.
He did, but he also did so much work before that.
Yeah.
I think that Wout is such a vital key to that team that take him away, and it's not the same team.
Yeah.
That's
I
probably
mean, you got
where
a
the
Diesel
question
to be
is.
like, oh, yeah, we need to close a 5-minute gap. He'll be like, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
you bring up a good point because the other one is Nathan Van Hooydonk.
Yeah.
That's
gone.
he was a big part of,
Mhm.
of being the diesel engine on the flats. So I mean, I think that's why the hesitation. The team's probably going like, yeah, but we need you for the Tour.
Well, but then you don't have to worry about the guys who would bring Primos back from a crash because that is a specific third of every Grand Tour team.
Right.
It's like, oh, he's down.
But
Send some guys back.
But think about who brought Vingegaard back when they rode the Roubaix stage.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was always Wout coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Now let's not forget, Matteo Jorgensen is now on Yamaha.
That's
Right.
true.
He's a
Is he?
diesel engine. Yeah.
Holy
and a
shit,
climber
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
USA. Hey, let's hop over. Oh, I gotta play one of the bumpers, right?
Yep.
One of the bumpers. So let's hop over to tonight's topic, brought to us by our friends at Scratch Labs. Oh yeah, hydration, fuel, and so much more. Hey, baby, get to scratchlabs.com to check out great information, recipes, and more today.
very Raymond Chandler.
Wow. You nailed it. You
It's
nailed
almost
that.
like I have a mild degree in broadcasting, and I use it in my basement. Tonight, I want to talk about the pros and cons of aerodynamics. I recently caught it. I don't know if you guys seen the GCN video. Funny enough, Paul, it's a comparison. It's versus, which GCN doesn't do very often. You know, tonight we're going to talk about circumcised riders versus uncircumcised riders. Where's the weight change? You know, it's.
Well, I see the center of gravity
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the foreskin. That
Yeah, he
seems to
definitely
help and,
definitely tucks it left.
yeah,
I can
yeah,
tell.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was featured the classic Cervelo S3. that Dan Lloyd owned, and the aerodynamic emphasis it put on the modern bike design, and they compared it against a modern Canyon. And we all know that being Aero apparently makes one faster, right? But at what cost, both financially and physically? I guess, Sam, we're basically you're back, and we're going to tailor everything to fit tonight.
Yeah.
But how personally, how important is aerodynamics to you as a rider? I know what the bookends of the panel they're going to probably talk about, but Jackson, yeah.
Well, it is. I mean, my own bicycle itself is an aerodynamic bike.
Yeah.
I mean, tube shape and everything. It's thoroughbred to go. It's meant to go fast in a straight line. And there are some cases where I can tell that I have drawbacks, and some cases where I can tell that I don't. I mean, especially with the wheels that I recently purchased, it is kind of a heavy bike. It's heavier than most, I will say. And realistically, did I make that much of a weight upgrade from my previous aluminum bike? Maybe a pound or two, and that's not that much, realistically. I mean, you add 2 bottles and there it's back.
Yeah.
And so there's that to take away. But as I mentioned before, in my FTP kind of summing up, that's not really my focus. So that kind of applies well to me. But I will say, when we're all descending down a hill and I get in that Aero tuck, I can tell that thing just you guys are great descenders, but I can tell that when we're in a straight line, that thing just brings me a little bit more forward than the other ones will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's give and take of it.
Sam, how critical is it to you? Is it something conscious on your mind when you're racing and training?
Not at all. I've ridden, my days were the Specialized. So that's just what I have most experience with. So doing like the Venge, which is the crazy aerodynamic bike, versus the Tarmac. I like the more comfortable bike.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
And that's what my Cervelo is. My Cervelo is an endurance bike. I've set it up a little bit more aggressive, but yeah, it's comfortable. And for me, like, if I'm comfortable, I can produce way more power, whereas an aero bike just beat the snot out of me.
Yeah.
With my back, it's like I'd get done with a hard ride and I'm like, I'll be back in a week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, comfort.
Paul, you and I have had discussions, I remember, where you talk about the fact that you're like, I don't produce as much wattage as a lot of other people do, but I do emphasize on positioning and lower and old school stuff like that.
No, I think that's just a natural because I am limber. I can get into position, and that's what we adapted in the old days, you know?
Yeah.
Flat back, that type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because everybody was
Slam
on
the
basic.
stem.
There was no aerodynamic. Everybody had, a 1-inch round tube steel bike.
Yeah.
Box rims, everything was like the same. So to me, I think it's when I started thinking about aerodynamics, and it is a very important thing. But, people argue about how much the rider and the bike is the advantage.
Yeah.
And some people say 70% of the drag comes from the human, and I've heard high as 90%. But I think that really
I'm
depends.
sitting right here, man.
No, but they're talking about the height of
At
the
least
person.
say my name.
Not girth.
Oh.
Height.
Oh, okay.
So, taller riders would really benefit from an aerodynamic bike.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When you get smaller, you don't. You think because it's all about 90% of your effort of your speed is pushing the wind.
Yeah.
So, if you're getting your body down and you got the most aerodynamic bike, if you have a 210, millimeter head tube or something, then as opposed to somebody riding a 47 centimeter bike, they're way down here. You start riding next to people. And if you ever drafted in a huge headwind behind somebody who's about 8 to 10 inches shorter, it's
Yeah.
So
if you're listening, Kirk Willett, I spent many a
I've
day
done that too.
chewing on my stem
I
trying to get behind that guy.
So clothing, I think your position, and then I think wheels more than just the frame.
We're getting all that.
Yeah,
we're
but
getting
I
all
think
that.
frame is like that's such a marginal thing. But
So what ways do you try to gain speed in order your position, and does it sacrifice comfort? For example, I'm kind of like you, Sam. I never really have thought about it. I do think Actually, I don't even know if I think about it. When when the race gets hard, I just naturally get lower. It's almost like I just I just drop down closer to my stem. I catch my arms at almost a 90-degree bend. I tend to sit on the hoods more than the drops. I don't ride a whole lot in the drops. In fact, I think I sprint in the drops, and that's pretty much it. I'll ride in the hoods almost an entire race.
In a crit?
A crit, I'm almost always in the drops.
Yeah, all right. I spent so many years as a junior and senior. We had a coach who let's say we did 4 hours. We'd get 30 minutes into a ride, and he would make us pick a specific gear, 5317, and ride in the drops.
Eric.
Yeah, for 3+ hours. In the drops, training gear, ride that for 3 hours.
No wonder you have so many body ailments.
Yeah. Oh, and mental. But we would do that, and I remember we would go to early season races, and I could ride. I could ride at a high rate of speed forever. I couldn't do the accelerations because we were just doing junk miles, but I mean, he could. The skin was falling off my body. We were so low fat back then, and my back was stronger than ever too.
Right.
Well, and some of that is our equipment, and I pointed this out. The picture behind you. Look how we rode more in the drops because the drops were actually drops as opposed to very tight now.
Yeah.
And so about where you do your.
I disagree with you on that. Look where those hoods are.
Those you
down to where the drops are.
For those of you
like,
just
that's
on
not
audio,
a big difference.
We've got a picture of Eddie Burks behind me.
You didn't ride with the old cables like that. We don't ride. I never rode like as much on the hoods back in the day. Even when we had
you
that,
rode more on the tops,
tops and drops.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I hardly even ride at the tops anymore.
Okay.
Ever.
Same.
Yeah, but so your frame was
much.
bigger, right?
Yeah.
And see, 180 millimeter seat post was standard. That was maximum.
That's crazy.
So, and look at his stem nowadays. I mean, that's still probably like
That's
a 120.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But now we're all, because that's when we went by 1 centimeter increments on steel bikes.
Yeah.
Now we're on large, extra large. So now we got guys with 17 centimeter stems to make up that, difference.
So would you say you focus more on Aero or comfort? It sounds like, Sam, you're a comfort.
I don't focus on the Aero. It's my position is comfortable to me.
Okay.
I don't have hand problems. I don't have back problems. Rarely.
Just a really bad hamstring chronic problem.
Yeah, then that was from a crash.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I've never really had discomfort.
Jackson, where do you? You're pliable, so I'm sure you're thinking more about aerodynamics.
Well, I saw something the other day on Instagram that was like, if your birthday begins with a 19, you need to start doing more of a warm up before your exercises. So that hurt a little bit. But no, I think I
just hear that now.
Yeah. I think that I focus on kind of what Paul said. I focus on comfort, but it does bring with that aerodynamics. I spend a good majority of my time in the drops.
Yeah.
When I'm riding anywhere, just because I know any little like dip in body shape will help a little bit in that blocking of the wind. So like I said, it's a good, I would say 60-40 on I'm probably in the drops 60% of the times opposed to 40% of the times out of them. So.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. I'm probably 90-10.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I probably used to, but it's things stiffen up. Talk to me about wheel choices. What do you guys consider in terms of rim depth, and or lightweight versus aerodynamic or something like that? Do you guys, if I know that we have different wheels for different purposes. A hill climbing wheel is going to be much smaller profile and whatnot, but we don't have unlimited budget, and we don't have the ability necessarily to just grab 8-10 different wheels and take them with us everywhere. So is there a happy medium, and if so, which way do you lean in terms of your wheel choice, if you could only have one wheel to rule them all?
I have a strong opinion on this.
You do? Shocker.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, right? So I can make this somewhat quick. I think that you should be running a 60 millimeter wheel.
Depth.
Yeah. Like, unless you're crazy lightweight and you're going to get blown all over in winds, right? And you live somewhere that it is crazy
North
crosswinds and
Dakota.
stuff. Yes. And obviously things change. But, like, the rolling weight of a 60 millimeter versus a 40 or a 30 is not significant. So the weight factor versus the aerodynamic gain of putting that on your wheel is massive. And then I also think that, like, we look at tour riders and we see them on really low, profile. I'm like, how many of us are climbing up the Alps? Yeah. We got one big mountain here in our region. And granted, look at your region. Like, if I lived in maybe certain areas of, like, Colorado, maybe I'd get a low profile wheel because it's like, I'm going to carry it up a mountain and I'm not concerned about being on flats ripping.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I mean, for most rolling terrain in our country, go with a deeper wheel. It's going to make up huge gains.
Anybody want to call them out, or are you guys all just like, yep?
Well, I think a good quiver of wheels is, for a bike racer, you should have a light set of wheels, a medium for crosswinds. In the spring, it's windy, and there we do a lot of rolling out in the Palouse.
Yeah.
If you run 6, you're working it. You are working it with 6 centimeters.
Yeah. Oh,
centimeters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't take much. That front end starts kicking around, and I've seen a guy in a race that I was in, literally on a Cervelo S5 with zip 404s, get picked up and into the ditch from a wind. And I'm like, But I think having a selection of wheels is great, but unfortunately today here comes the drop.
Here comes.
Wait for it. Disc brakes. Who can afford that many?
Wow. Sorry.
But I mean, we did. We had training wheels. Remember back in the day?
Yeah, absolutely.
You had these big tank, tied and soldered back wheels that are just bomb-proof, rigid, and then you had your race wheels. And
GP4s.
GP4s,
right? Yeah,
GP4s were standard. And then,
with
if you ran clinchers...
Big old Wolver invulnerable tires on it, which have Kevlar in the bead. They weighed a ton, but you never flat it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I used to do, too.
Mm-hmm. Like who can afford it with disc brakes?
You can't.
Well, as the person who has disc brakes...
That's true.
I agree. So I only have one pair of wheels, and they are really deep. They're 69, I want to say,
Crazy
and I
deep.
can't believe it just lands on that number. Yeah.
Sorry.
But
sexual show.
And
Well,
it's all
David's
on me.
not
So
here.
it's all my fault.
Inches.
What?
Deep. 69.
Jeez. But I have noticed that I think it depends on the wheel quality. Is also a really big deal. Because before I had, and this is nothing against BMC's, proprietary wheel brand, but it's just not the same quality as the current Reynolds wheels that I ride. I mean, they are quite a bit deeper, but yeah, exactly. They are lighter as well. So it's kind of it's just that culmination of good craftsmanship and just deeper wheels to kind of come together to make a better wheel. But I noticed that when you have a deeper wheel, it does feel like, Sam, you said this a couple of years ago, but it feels like free speed a little bit. And it, I like the wheel depth that I have. I'm interested to see what it's like in a springtime because I've only ever ridden them really in like a early summer kind of thing. But I mean, I'm a fan. I do think that David has a 40, right?
Yeah,
he has a 40. And I think that's good. Like a good middle ground, I will say. I think that 40 can provide the weight, but it can also provide the aerodynamic assistance that you need at the same time.
I just think like a 40 is that middle ground of like what's the point? Either way, like you're not making it's not really light for hill climbing and it's not really deep for like sprints and flats and stuff.
Yeah, I mean I would totally agree because I'm on one side of the spectrum where it's like I'm all aero everything. The bike is all aero. Even like helmet, all that stuff. But I think for David, who's got kind of like one of those bike, like feels like a do-it-all road bike kind of.
Yep, absolutely.
That 40, I feel like, does fit his bike pretty well.
And his riding style. I mean, he is very much an all-arounder. It's not like, and I've ridden 40s. I'm just saying, I think that now moving forward with all the research I've done, I would go 60s in our terrain.
For sure, I agree.
Yeah.
Jax, you mentioned helmets. Does anybody do you go full ventilation or do you go consider Aero in it? Now, none of us have a makeshift lens that attaches to the front of the helmet. Thank God, or I don't think we'd ride with each other.
No.
We'd ostracise that person quite heavily.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. Do you guys think about aerodynamics when you buy a helmet? Jackson, you did. I remember.
I still do. And it's what I like about POC, and this is not meant to be an advertisement.
Might as well make it one.
Yeah. What I like is that you get both, but you don't sacrifice either. And what I mean by that is you get good high ventilation to where the front vents and even the back vents give you that head cooling feeling, even in like the hottest days of summer. No matter what, I'm never overheated in the head portion of my body. But also, you get that aerodynamic assistance at the same time. And I think that a helmet like that gives a really good give and take. I think that there are some brands that do kind of lack that a little bit. I've seen a brand recently that's kind of coming into popularity called Cav.
Yeah.
Which is like it
3D printed.
Yeah, it's 3D printed. It's custom to your head. But have you seen the Aero version of it? There are no vents.
Ew.
It is just a full-on shell you put on. It's a football helmet you put on your head practically.
Microwave.
Yeah. And so I think that there are different spectrums to every version of the Aero helmet. I mean, I know, Sam, you've ridden a specialized
I've ridden
Aero.
all of them,
Yeah.
I've always leaned towards Aero.
You do.
Yeah. But
Paul?
in my most recent is
Ventilation.
I have to go ventilation. And I have yet to find the perfect helmet. No offense to our friends at POC and our friends at Giro.
Yeah.
I have yet to find a helmet that does not run sweat straight into my eyes and my sunglasses. And my obsessive nature, I can't ride with sweat dripping down my glasses. It makes me crazy. I keep staring at it, and then I ride off into the ditch.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, and so I've yet to find the perfect helmet for that. And so I forego any mention of aerodynamics in order to get proper cooling.
Yeah. I mean, and the helmet that I most recently chose is definitely steering towards cooling.
Yeah.
Grateful for that. And like you guys talked, or we talked about it last podcast about warmer weather.
Yeah.
It is really nice. Like, I mean, back when I was rocking more of the Aero, it wasn't as hot when I was racing.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of 90s that we're racing in. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have vented.
Thanks, Obama.
Freaking Obama.
Kit, does anybody do any specific decisions? I know you guys are more comfortable wearing your skin suits in mass start races than I am.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm comfortable, but at age 60, I don't think the people looking at me are very comfortable seeing me.
I need to get over
I'm
the
just
fact
saying
that
that.
really nobody's probably
The only
looking at me.
tight thing about Paul's body when he is his skin suit.
That's the only thing
It's
that's
just
holding it
chicken
in.
wings.
Yeah.
Flapping behind him otherwise.
Flesh curtains.
I will say though.
I'll never forget that analogy.
Yeah.
See this photo of me? Notice how my arm is blurred. They cut it mid-flap.
Exactly.
Yeah. I will say I do miss this is going to sound kind of funny, but the sensation of a skin suit, I feel like it brings a different mentality when you line up to a race. Because, I mean, ever since I crashed out, I've been tore mine to shreds. It's just wearing a jersey and shorts feels a little bit different. It feels like you're going out on a training ride than it does full-on racing. That's why
It's
I'm excited.
race day when you have that skin suit
That's
on.
why I'm excited for our new kit order.
Are you going to order 2 skin suits?
Oh, I might actually, depending on...
It's cheaper than buying shorts and a jersey.
See, I might actually here because I think that could be something that I even train in, especially if we look at more of a speed suit section with 3
the pockets or
pockets and
something
everything
like
and
that,
it zips and all that. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I do like a skin suit, especially on a race day. It just gets you into that mode, and you're also making that aerodynamic gain.
If I raced more, I think I would think about it. But the amount of racing days versus training days is still so much lower.
Nowadays, though, mountain bikers are racing in skin suits.
Mountain bikers racing around in their underwear. What, are you kidding me? They got the baggy shorts. And,
Well, I'm talking like
I got my Hanes briefs underneath, bro.
I'm talking
Hold
like
my
Tom
cigarette.
Pitcock and like Nino Schurter.
Oh, yeah,
They're all like running skin suits for sure.
Yeah, that makes does sense. That does make sense. I know the answer to this. Who in here owns a TT bike? Sam and Paul. How often do you ride it? You don't have to. I'm not cornering you. On
No, I
anything
know.
Here, but
I mean, as little as I need to.
yeah. Paul.
I'm smiling because this is the deal I made to get Flanders her dog.
Yeah. Oh.
That bike is because I said you can have a dog if I can have a TT bike.
How many times have you ridden it since then?
It took me actually about 4 or 5 years to actually find one that was in my price range and what it would fit. I was patient, and then it ended up I hated every part on it, so I had to strip it out and slowly build it back up. I've used it on I think 2 actual races. I trained on it maybe 8 times.
Yeah. I'm honestly about the same.
And here's the sad thing about that is that, 5-6 years ago, that would have been a great TT bike.
Yeah.
But with technology moving on TT stuff, it's like, if I was trying to be serious, I would never take it to nationals. It's a joke
Really?
compared to
Oh, I
what's
would
out there
take
now.
mine.
No, it's
So
not.
this, I know the answer to this, but I want to ask this, almost rhetorically, but for the people who might not know, can a standard road Aero bike compete aerodynamically with a time trial bike?
No.
You guys are all shaking your heads. So I can't go to a stage race. I know the answer to this, but I can't go to a stage race with my road bike and aerodynamic, throw proper wheels on, air bars, helmets, speed suits, stuff like that, and compete in a time trial against people with full-on TT kits.
No.
If you're like Sepp Kuss or somebody like that's going to be the next World Tour rider,
Yeah.
Mateo, sure.
I think
You're an average Joe jumping in, hell no.
we'll just use. I just got a little swallow left.
Oh.
Like Turtle Bloom.
Oh.
The thing is the promoter Ace didn't want people to bring all these bikes and having, some people just don't have a TT bike. How fair? Why do I want to go to a stage race? I'm not going to win because this 12-mile TT is going to just blow me out of the water.
Yeah.
So he had Merc style, which I think is great, and that makes sense for that particular reason. But now, because it becomes an arms race, that, like I said, my bike, the way it's set up and the equipment I have on it, is not even close to being what if somebody in my age group have lots of money. They have 3D, position,
arm pads,
everything,
yeah.
and it's like, man, I might as well be on a road bike against my TT bike. I mean, that's the difference. I think when it comes to TTs, I think that should be left from now on out to triathletes. That should be their thing. Because it's out of control.
Or we just go Mercs in a stage
it should
race.
be. And that's the way it should be for local races, and that's why I brought up our local race.
Yeah.
It's like, seriously, you're spending tons of money to go there. You got a hotel room, your entry fee, you want everything, and then you're not going to win because you don't own a TT bike. That sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I personally, I find great joy in getting on that TT bike for a
I
race.
agree.
I think it's
I
so
agree.
cool. So what if we did where you had a 30-second penalty?
A handicap system.
A handicap
of some
system.
Sort. Yeah.
I think that's fair for all. Because personally, you could probably still overcome that with a TT
Could we
bike.
add in what you had for dinner last night and how many beers?
How many drinks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take a picture of yourself with every beer.
You get minus 10 seconds for every beer you had.
Yeah.
Calculate your CDA.
There we go.
And
Yeah.
then put everybody in there.
Yeah.
And it's just-
Yeah. I mean,
Handy.
really,
weight. I would weigh myself at the beginning of the race. Going, hey, assholes. Oh, it's downhill? Well, then you guys get the bonus.
Yeah.
Because shit rolls downhill.
I mean, realistically, let's say,
I didn't even laugh at that. That's true.
That's just truth.
I mean, trickling on down to somebody like me who's still just beginning their career, the realistic possibility of me going to a stage race anymore and winning it is next to nothing, because there are people who spend all of this money who have another $12,000, $13,000 to spend on solely a TT bike. I can't do that.
No.
There's no chance
Ever,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, there's not sticking with. I mean, if I'm going to be a teacher for the rest of my life, there's no chance I will ever be able to match that. And so I think that I love the idea of beyond a certain level having it just be a Merc state or a Merc's time trial, because you're gonna get, and I know we always make fun of the whole dentist thing, but it's like having a dentist that can show up to a stage race with a brand new Pinarello time trial bike. It's just not. I mean, not to sound like one of my preschool students, but it's not fair.
Not fair.
It really isn't. Yeah.
Well, and we're gonna be honest here. Most triathletes who go to these bike races already have that Aero in their quiver.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's hey, I'm not bashing you for that. You got that bike because that's the bike you're spending 99% of your time.
Right.
If anything, you're investing in the road bike for the crit and the road race, and so that's something completely different. But yeah, I mean I own a time trial bike.
Yeah.
From a while ago.
1980.
Yeah, it's 88, I think.
Is
Even
Yeah.
aero bars on that thing?
Yeah,
Cow horns.
cow horns.
Is it 650 in the front?
It's
It's a 650B. Yeah.
It's fun to ride.
What they called a funny bike back then.
Yeah, you should ride it. It's fun to
I
ride.
want to.
Yeah. You get a little dizzy riding it, but if you could focus on one aspect on your speed in terms of aerodynamics, what would it be, and how would you spend your time and money?
That's very interesting. I think clothing, I will say, it is crazy the amount of science that goes into, especially professional clothing. I would really focus in on that because I've seen a lot of like documentary things, and we all know I love a good documentary.
docuseries. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching the Beckham one right now. If
All
anybody's
right. I've
interested.
heard about that one.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I've seen a lot of documentaries about how vital it can be to have your skin suit perfectly tailored to your body, and that it doesn't provide any sort of like creases or anything. I think that would be something that would be kind of cool to look into. But I mean, I don't want to sacrifice my comfort of my riding, especially if I'm not going to be a pro. So I think the clothing part would be the aspect I would invest the most in, because the rest is it's realistically already done.
Yeah. Sam, where'd you blow your cash?
Man, I would say, I'm pretty optimized in all of it, but if I was just to start from stock, I would invest in wheels.
I think I would go
Wheels
too.
and tire.
Yeah.
Tires
Wheels
are
and tires.
huge.
Tires.
I think that's where I
totally
would
agree
lean
with
to.
tires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a fast set of like Grand Prix or something like that. It just make you also feel fast. Yeah.
It's funny with this wider tire thing, so everybody's running tubulous.
Why don't you lift that thumb up?
What's that? Yeah, I'm trying.
He can't.
I'm sorry.
But the
If
thing
he
is,
gives you 2 thumbs up, he's always kind of judging you.
yeah. That no one's gonna get that joke.
Yeah, no.
No,
When he
it's
saw the
like,
visual, yeah,
it's a
exactly. So
bum thumb.
you got to watch the video, people.
Yes. So anyway, the whole idea is we used to have like our tires would be bubbled past our rim.
Yeah.
It'd be larger than the rim. That does create an aerodynamic, and the wheel has a lot of contact. That's a lot of frontage that's going to cause drag.
Yeah.
So then now they started spreading out, and we're using wider tires, and now your rim and your tire are about the same width, and I have my training clinchers are actually that way with 25s, but they measure out to like 27 almost. So that that's the ultimate that you want. But now they get it so far apart that sometimes the rim is beyond, and you start getting around on a corner, you're gonna grease out, and then you start getting width. There's a diminishing return when you get to like 32 or something. It starts creating more aero. Doesn't matter if you have that. You just got a huge frontage.
Yep.
So there's a lot to take. Wheels and tires are a huge, huge thing.
Yeah.
So
in other words, just spend more money.
yeah, always.
That's all they want.
Industry wants that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Sam, I don't have a bumper for you yet, but
That's okay.
But
That's so cool. It's coming.
I could give you this one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This is Sam's take with tonight's Fit Tips with Sam and Ambassador Cycling. And that's the same one I did for the news, though, didn't I? Or this last one?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
I like it. This is classy AF.
Did you hear it? Free Will in the background?
Yeah,
That's
yeah
nice.
he went into the shop and recorded it.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Check out the link at Packfiller. Anyway, what do you got for this week? I mean, do you want to stick to the Aero realm, or do you got something new and intriguing?
I do have other ones, but I would like to stick to the Aero because we have actually touched on this before, but it is so worth, especially just like talking all Aero tonight, and we brushed on the getting your front end lower is going to make a massive improvement. But
my hands are numb already thinking about it.
Yeah, but like power is king. And so if you slam that front end too low, because everybody will, first off, I think we're all pretty vain and then we want the cosmetic side
Looks
of like,
awesome.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
But if you do that, in my world of PT, we get a thing called muscle imbalance and inefficiency. So your hip flexors on the front side of your hips are overactive. They're shortened because you're so squatted down low. And then the hip extensors, your glutes, are all stretched out too much. So you are essentially getting a very limited amount of power from either one of those. So both the downstroke and upstroke, the pedal, are compromised. So you're losing a lot of power for aerodynamics. And so for me, what I found is like raising the front end of my bike up. Yeah, I am losing a little bit of aerodynamics, but all in all, I'm gaining a ton more power.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's just that balance of like, you know, it's super important to take into mind like comfort is king. I mean, comfort will help you produce more power. And then in the times in which you're getting behind people's drafts or like, I mean, God, who drops me going downhill? Right? Like I'm 190 pounds. Like I'll get in your draft.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's as big as you.
God, I just throw my panis on the top tube.
Oh, nice.
Panis, not penis.
Yeah, panis. I know what a
Panis,
panis
yeah.
is. Yes.
And I just coast downhill.
That's the flop.
Yeah, the flop.
that you
yeah.
have. There's some people who have so much panis that
So your panis is above your penis?
yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it?
Go ahead and
belly
ask
flap
David.
that hangs
That could
down.
be the next
Why-
Dr. Dave question.
Why am I
What
hearing
do
about
do
this
with my
now for the
panis?
first time?
Yeah.
So is that your belly?
Yeah.
Are you thinking? Oh, okay.
When it hangs
Haven't
low.
you ever seen people that just like their belly kind of like drips when they're sitting down?
Yeah. So
That's
I
a
gotta
panis.
lift
That's
my
a panis.
I gotta lift my penis so you can see my penis.
Yeah.
Wow.
You want to
Yeah.
hear stories?
There's a
about
lot of
penis
stories out there.
in the ER. There's
Really?
a way to, yeah.
Yeah.
They use a
Things can hide
broomstick
in there.
and 2 nurses to pull it
Nice.
back. They do.
So anyway, that's my
Yep.
tip for
I don't
getting
think I
into
have a puke effect.
and that's yeast you don't want to put in a beer. I want to say that's
Wow.
yeah.
Man, that went
beer,
really
that's so
well.
gross.
That was a fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
was
a
good. That was
little
good.
segment.
Wow.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that one.
Before I vomit, we're going to switch to Packfiller picks this week. Jackson got to pick this week. Oop, I just hit a link. But let's bring it up on the screen behind us. Jackson got to pick 3 picks, and I find them kind of interesting picks because,
So, let's get
First
into
one,
it.
I went straight. I didn't go on. By the way, all these links are on packfiller.com. And the first one, I actually did not use the Amazon link.
I love that
yes,
you did not.
The Amazon links throw us a few shekels. But if you're going to do this as a recommendation, we got to go straight to the
Do it
source.
right. Exactly.
So, Jackson's first recommendation.
So I am if for the fans that the fans that that couldn't see me, I was praising the fact that you did not send them to the Amazon link.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of cases, if you're ordering these type of products, go on Amazon, not the best place.
Go to the
first
source.
one.
Go to the source.
Exactly.
Yeah.
First one. You don't have to buy this version. There are a lot of other streaming things, but it's an Apple TV. It is the 4K version, which is the brand new version.
I'm going to sound like a rich asshole and say that 129 doesn't sound like that much.
No, it
I
doesn't.
didn't think it. I thought it was more than that now.
Yeah, the
I paid like the generation like 2 behind.
Yeah.
Like twice almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I have an Apple TV, but it's from that generation from a while ago. I think they are great because if you have Sam, sorry to exclude you from this discussion here, but if
I
you
know
have
better.
if you have an iPhone, or if you're in any of that Apple, what they call ecosystem, you have the watch, you have all that stuff. An Apple TV is going to be great for you as a cyclist. You can AirPlay a lot of your stuff onto there. You can watch a lot of things while you're writing. It gets everything. You can download every single streaming app you could possibly wish
It has
for.
the Zwift app and
does.
the system. Wahoo System app on it already. You don't need to run. It'll pair with your Bluetooth devices, just the Apple TV.
And it's a great tool because I'm thinking the theme of this is off season.
Yeah.
It's not just for training, it's also for watching pleasure as well. So I think that it's an all-around great thing to have.
You can hit Maverick on repeat.
I haven't watched that in
Exactly.
2 weeks. I've been going through Batman
It'll
phase.
loop through. What?
I
Ooh,
love
that's a good one.
Batman.
Oh, Padawan. We need
I want
to
to go
talk.
back in the day, though, further.
You talking like
I've been slowly working my
how
way
far back in the day? I mean, what Batman?
I was watching down in Portland.
Are you
I think it
before
was like
Michael
70s.
Keaton?
Michael Keaton.
Oh, you're early.
Yeah.
Like Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Jackson's next pick.
So-
this one's pink.
Well,
I applaud your,
personally-
I'm gonna put it on the blue one.
I was gonna say that's funny you mentioned that. I personally have the blue one. This is just a yoga mat, an Amazon Basics yoga mat.
Their basic stuff is really good.
It's surprising. Yeah,
I actually bought a pair of Amazon Basics jeans.
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Held my ass very nicely.
but I have this exact yoga mat that I used yesterday.
$20.
$20 exactly, and it's thick. It's really soft. It is one of those things that I feel like I could fall asleep on. But let's say you're someone like me who doesn't really like a gym that much. You can, if you have Wahoo System, I'll say it again. They have the strength training aspect of it all. It's great to have, and it's just on one of these mats, and sometimes it's with a bottle. But once again, it's an off-season thing. You're working on your core, which is what I did yesterday, which you should always work on. But it's a great thing to have, and it's simple, it's easy, it's $20.
And 20 bones is a screaming deal for these types of
It's
things.
cheaper
Like
than my
sweating
Lululemon.
on that as opposed to your
I bet it is.
Yeah.
trainer, whatever your trainer's on, like your carpet and stuff.
Amazon Basics makes an actual pad for under your trainer.
Which I also
I have
have.
one of those too. It's a dense, thick rubber, and
It's
works
pretty nice.
great.
Yeah.
It's a good price, too.
Yeah, my cat's destroyed it, but I've had it for 5 years. Like there's so much scratching in it, but it's
Okay,
great.
this one I find interesting. Here we live in a world where we have
I saw this.
bottles
Yeah.
galore.
This is sweet.
Yet you chose a water bottle.
So
A
this
$40 water bottle.
So I think there is as I was mentioning earlier, there's a spectrum to each purchase you're willing to make.
Hydro
of course.
Flask, 20-ounce, wide insulated sport bottle, $39.95.
So I want this specifically for Christmas, by the way, in case anybody's shopping around thinking about getting me something real nice.
thinking of me.
I think this is great because we are in that colder season. Ted King mentioned this a while ago. He has a specific bottle cage for a 32-ounce normal hydro flask. And that will keep your stuff from freezing. It will keep it also from overheating in the summertime. And 20 ounces?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 ounces. That's a lot of water for one single ride.
What do you think the weight is?
I don't know. It's probably pretty heavy.
1.3
You're worried about the
pounds?
weight?
Yeah, but in the
Pat.
winter,
All right.
Paul, yes, I am, because the rest is
I
in
set it
my
up for you. You
I
waited
like
for a while.
that.
Yeah.
my
You're
penis.
catching on
My
now.
penis is so
yeah,
huge.
your penis now.
But I think this is great for somebody who wants a do it. I think this is like a do it all water bottle. I was gonna put a 32-ounce one in there, but I feel like this is you can put it in a cage, you can put it in a bottle cage, and you can take it around wherever you want to go.
Keeps
I'm
drinks
telling
cold
you
up.
right
Keeps
now.
drinks cold up to 24 hours, hot up to 12.
Yes.
I'm filling black coffee in a mug, and I'm going out on training rides.
Oh,
Yeah, like this.
In the spring.
This
I'm
can,
telling you,
but this
that's
can do that
what
though.
I'm doing.
That's
I
what's so
know.
great about things like this.
Thanks for
And so that's-
changing my life yet again.
all the Polish
What can I
coaches,
say?
all the Polish coaches I dealt with back in the 1980s we would have a cooler full. And I've told you guys this, full of scalding hot tea with a ton of honey in it.
Yes.
and they'd put it in a piece of shit water bottle with obviously
Yeah.
poison plastic.
Oh, for sure. BPA
Yeah.
galore.
Oh yeah, but it was so good in the winter on a long ride.
And now you can just put it in a regular ass water bottle that
All
you
right.
can dishwash. That's
yeah.
a big deal.
Yeah, it is huge.
That
Yeah.
is huge. That is
So,
huge.
There we go.
Those are good picks.
Thank
good
you.
picks.
I've
Those are
spent a
good
lot of
picks.
my
Those are
lunch
good
break
picks.
on this today. Like all of it. So
All right, you guys ready for one more sound bumper before we get to the final segment of the show, which is
Yeah.
always the
Final game.
It's the fun show time.
Oh
No.
my
Listen
god!
to this. Listen to this.
Hey, Diatons.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Fun Show. It's the Fun Challenge. We're going to play a master of the A's tonight. We go around the room using the letter A's as our guide. For example, if we were using the letter J, I'd start with a Jumbo Visma, and then Jupe Zodamelk, and then so on. It can be a rider, a team, a piece of equipment. I phase out the voice because the song's over. A race, or anything to do with the sport. So, we usually do the alphabet game. This is just one letter of the alphabet. We're doing the A's, and I know you're all thinking about things in the world of cycling that has to do with the letter A. So that'll give you, while I pad, at least the ability to start the game. We go around using the letter A's, okay? It could be, this is J, Jumbo Visma, Jupe Zodamelk, Johan Museo, Juice, whatever it is, but it has to be involved with the sport of cycling. We go around. The person who wins is crowned the master of that letter of the alphabet. Do I have any questions?
No.
oh god, this is gonna be rough.
The letter A. All right. Okay. Do we want to go me first, and then Jackson, and then Sam, and then Paul?
Sure, I don't care.
By the way,
I'm gonna win.
We're all going to suck at this. You're going to win, Sam?
No, I'm gonna lose so fast.
So I will start
It's gonna be rough.
with Astana.
I was gonna say a Volo.
Oh, yeah, team. Yeah.
Alaphilippe.
That's good.
Alberto Contador.
Abraham Olano.
Oh, good one.
Does Aero Gaines? Does that work?
Oh, what do we think, guys? It's the theme of the show.
Arrow is one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give him
Yeah.
Arrow.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Alpecin.
I've run dry.
Alpecin.
Atala.
Oh,
Wow.
nice! You're wearing the shirt
Pretty
too.
much, yeah.
Yeah. Alessandro Pataki.
I might be fresh out. Let's see.
God, I'm thinking now.
Is there really anything else? Well, Tim Cook was recently involved. Apple.
Oh, fuck.
Can I pass?
Then you're out.
That's fine.
That's fine.
I don't know anything else. I feel like Arab is a big one. United Arab Emirates.
But yeah, it's United.
What did I say? I said United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, but it starts with United, so you're out anyway.
There's nothing really else.
Allied Cycles.
That's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Altus. It is a Shimano series
Yeah,
of
It
is.
is.
Oh, I know one.
Ass cheeks. I'm out. I'm out. Sam.
Avento, I think is how you pronounce it. The electric bike company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just handed you one.
Anquetil. Jacques.
Jacques
Anquetil.
What are they always yelling on the hill?
No.
No.
I'll answer that. LA. But let's see.
Oh, damn.
Argonaut.
Argonaut.
Another company out of Bend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Axis Ceram.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
God, good on you.
Thank you.
And that's electronic.
Yeah, I know.
That's past your time.
I know.
Does the Alps count, or do they like the Alpe d'Huez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alpe d'Huez.
How
Alpe
about
d'Huez. Alpe d'Huez. Yeah.
Okay. The obese beast.
I guess.
Called the obese.
Yeah.
Called the obese.
Yeah, it's getting
All right, I'm getting away
Yeah,
from
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting away from that. I don't think that I have anything else.
Oh,
It's crazy we're talking about a
it's not over yet.
clothing brand.
Shut up!
Well,
Quit
nobody's
helping!
gonna say that.
I got one.
I know.
Yeah, Paul's gonna say.
But here's the
something
thing:
very
is that I'm going up against Paul, who's going to list off in a writer from 1920 for the next 30 years. I could be here. How about the LA? We already used LA. I was going to say specialized bike, but that's in the same category.
Well,
We said LA.
That's
like,
different.
Go on,
That's
go on.
different.
But that's
Paul, you got one to...
Yeah, also.
bury me. God,
Assos.
you are
Oh, I
good.
wasn't even talking about that clothing brand.
Man.
By the way, first of
LA.
all...
Yeah.
No, that's the wrong...
Well, there's a lot of LA.
There is a
That
lot
makes
of
sense.
LA.
I mean,
Paul wins.
you're
He
a
is
king.
masters of the A's.
I feel like you could win.
What's
that
the
with
name of
everything.
our club, you guys?
Arrive. I was holding that for last.
Oh,
We're
man.
terrible.
Which would
We're
have been in
terrible.
like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was just waiting for somebody.
We are
I didn't
terrible.
think anybody was going to use that.
That's really sad if you stop and think about it. This is not intentionally sad music.
Yes,
This is
yeah.
one of the outro options that was sent to
I
us.
like
by
it.
the way.
They're all very classy.
Sounds
I
like
think
the
they'll
Minecraft
elevate it.
music. Sounds a lot
Or
like
Zelda.
Hey,
the,
lads.
like the Minecraft. It's
Sounds
almost
like outro.
identical. Yeah.
Sounds like Minecraft if Lance is listening now. But
it's very good.
I like
Yeah,
the
multiple
jazzy.
outros.
I like the jazzy.
It's so
one.
classy.
Paul, you like
It
this
is.
one?
Yeah, awesome.
That one with the little static in the background. There we go. That brings us to the end of another episode for this week. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you. Yeah.
I will have to mention that next week is probably might be one of our week offs, and I apologize because life is just getting in the way. But in the meantime, I'd like to ask everybody who listens to the show to like, subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe to the podcast, and tell a friend, and check out our website for fun stuff. As I promised, the shirts are up there now, and in case you wonder why they take 4 or 5 days, because I make them personally in this house.
Yeah.
And so we go from there. So if they're a little flawed, it's almost like, the artist had his final
It's the
touch
character.
on it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add to that. So when I was electrician, we hung this $1,500 fixture.
Yeah.
That was made in Italy, and it was kind of deformed a little bit. And there was a tag on there. It says, "Some imperfections only enhance the hand craftsmanship of our
I
product."
love
There we
that.
go.
Yeah.
Only Italians would say that,
Yeah.
Or me.
or you,
Or
you.
you.
can
Yeah.
use it.
They're fucked up because I am too.
Yeah. And write in your questions.
Yeah. Zoo, write us in your questions for David and for Sam. Thanks, you guys, so much. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.